All right, so this is video 2 from Lori on how to test pelvic, pelvic,
Diastasis recti.
how to test diastasis, but a talk on the pelvic floor.
Yes.
How to test for diastasis.
Okay, so the picture that we're, and I'm going to have you guys, you'll feel this on me, and I'll show you how to actually do it, but we'll kind of maybe see that for the end so that we have time to get through everything. But what you would do is you have your client lie down on the floor, okay? And so you could quickly palpate down the linea alba, and you're just kind of feeling where is there, does it feel really soft and squishy? Does it feel nice and tight and firm? And just kind of get a sense, okay? And you're holding your 2 fingers at the belly button, inside the belly button. And you're pushing through the adipose tissue to make sure that you get to the abdominals. And all they're doing is going to bring their chin to their chest, as if they're going to initiate a sit-up. And that's all the movement that you need. And what you're feeling for is, do your fingers go down and in to a hole? And if that hole is 2 fingers or more, then they're considered to have a positive diastasis recti. If they're 2 fingers or less, then we consider that normal. Me personally, I don't want somebody at 2 fingers. I'm 2 fingers at my belly button, and I don't like it. So you have to be at least 1 less. What's so funny?
You guys
Did I say
something
something
else? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And then what you do is you'll go about like an inch or two above the belly button, repeat the test, an inch or 2 below the belly button, and repeat the test. So again, you can have a diastasis recti at the belly button and be normal above and below. You could have it just above, just below. You could have it the whole way. Yeah. So there's no, it could be anywhere, in other words. Okay? So I'll let you guys feel that on me in a minute. So the next slide, there is a picture of also what a positive test can look like. So doming of the belly. So somebody comes up to do a sit-up, and it looks like they have like a cone on top of their tummy. Good chance that they have a diastasis recti. Okay? Same thing even in plank position. If you see like the doming that's going on. Okay? So just some visuals to give you guys. And then sometimes sometimes you can't pick it up depending on how much weight they have on them in terms of like by the eye, but just to kind of give you guys some ideas there. Okay? So another component that I like to test when I am testing the abdominal muscles is the abdominal strength against the pull of the hip flexors. Okay? So I want all of you to lie down on your back right now, please. And your knees are going to be up at 90-90 position. Okay? So 90-90. Okay. Heads are resting comfortably on the floor. And let's actually go with the hardest position first. So put the legs out straight, fully straight. Okay? And up high. Yep. And I want you to lower them towards the floor. No hands behind your back. If you have to do that, there's already a sign of weakness. So start to lower your feet towards the floor and feel when your low back starts to come off the floor. It could be immediately, it could be halfway, a quarter of the way. Just get that sense for yourself. Maybe you're super strong and the low back never lifts off the floor. So get that sensation, okay? So most people can't even do this. The low back starts to lift off the floor immediately. So what this is that your abdominal muscles cannot contract against the pull of your hip muscles, your hip flexors. There's a muscular imbalance, okay? So now let's back off, because like I said, most people can't even do this. So now go to 90-90 position for me and get a sense how that feels for you. Low back is against the floor, heels are coming towards the floor, okay? And paying attention to when you start to feel that low back lift off the floor. Also pay attention, are you holding your breath? If you're holding your breath, you're stabilizing more than you need to, which also is another sign of weakness. Okay, so get that sense of how low your heels can go to the floor. This may be a little easier for you because we're lessening that lever arm. Okay? And then bring it back up. Okay, so if there was a challenge there for you and your low back was coming up and you couldn't get your heels all the way to the floor, now you're going to just do one leg at a time, okay? And see how you do with that. Not holding the breath. Can you take the heel to the floor without the low back lifting? Whatever is that spot that you can complete, that becomes your treatment. So if it is 90-90 position and you get about halfway and then you have to bring the legs back up, then that becomes the treatment. Okay? But you'd be surprised. And if you hear, so instructors a lot of times, and this is in any type of fitness industry, who says, if your low back is lifting off the floor, put your hands behind. One of my biggest pet peeves, because you know what you're doing? You're just feeding into the dysfunction, right? You're trying to support yourself, but really you're feeding into dysfunction. So that then becomes the treatment and also modification for classes as well as diastasis. Does that make sense, guys? You following me there? Okay. And this is a huge piece because if our hip flexors are overactive and our abs are not strong, again, we're not going to correct the imbalances of the core. Okay? Okay. So as I mentioned before, exercises that are contraindicated for diastasis recti, oblique twists, crunches, planks, reverse crunches, bicycles, mountain climbers. And the reason being is because they increase intra-abdominal pressure. Okay? Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but usually it's very patient-specific. And then, of course, I get into that more one-on-one with my clients, okay? The biggest thing, too, is, again, us teaching them how to activate their core appropriately when they are in these positions, okay? Because guaranteed, majority of our people are holding their breath. So when you hold your breath, that increases intra-abdominal pressure naturally. And then if they also have a dysfunction between the abs and the hip flexors, there's weakness that you're then, again, feeding into this. And a lot of this stuff, guys, when correcting it, is really about correcting the nervous system, right? Muscles will do what we tell them to do. It's more about the nervous system. Okay. So, breath. This is huge. The foundation to getting pelvic floor, well, just abs and all of this to just jive together is through the breath. And so a lot of people, aren't breathing properly to begin with. We're not breathing deep enough. And then to coordinate that. So what I'm going to have you guys do, go back to laying down on your backs for me, please. Okay? And just get in a comfortable position first. Okay.
Feet down, legs down.
However you're comfortable. I just want you to kind of make this connection. So I want you to take an inhale in, belly rises. Exhale, relax. Okay? Again, inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly relax. Okay, now as you do this, inhale again. Exhale, draw your belly button in slightly towards your spine. Okay? And find your hip bones, your ASIS for you guys, and go maybe like, I don't know, like an inch off, just like kind of drop down. Okay? And as you suck your belly button in towards your spine, you're going to feel these two little bands popping up. And that's your transverse abdominis muscle engagement. You guys feel that as you suck the tummy in towards the spine?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to, again, inhale, let everything relax. Exhale, belly button draws into the spine, Kegel for me. So a Kegel is as if you're trying to stop the flow of your urine, okay? And you should feel the pelvic floor contracting. Depending on what weakness and stuff you may have, you may not feel a Kegel. That's a whole other discussion. But now what I want you to do for me, don't worry about activating the transverse abdominis. Just Kegel, but keep your fingers on those bands. And as you Kegel, do you feel those two bands popping up? Okay, so as we naturally, when we Kegel, when we activate that pelvic floor, it naturally engages our transverse abdominis. Okay? You guys feel that? Are you feeling it? Because if you're not, maybe you're not palpating appropriately, so you're a little too hot. So right here, and then come off. Yep. activation, you'll feel that engage.
So I feel it when I suck in, but when I keep going, I don't feel it.
You don't feel it? Try again, then. Relax. Again. Relax. Kegel. Relax. It's there, but it's weak. Yeah, it's there, but it's weak.
So you don't want us to draw on the belly though, right?
Not right, no, because I wanted you just to feel how the transverse abdominis naturally engages when you contract the pelvic floor. That's huge, right?
That's cool.
So as soon as we contract our pelvic floor, we're getting TVA activation. Your transverse abdominis is your deepest back muscle. It is your natural corset of your spine and everything. Okay? So we need that to be working appropriately as well and engaging. So now what I want you to do, I want you to inhale fully. Everything relaxes on the inhale as we breathe. You exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine and Kegel at the same time. Inhale, relax. Exhale, belly button to spine, Kegel.
Whoa.
Inhale, relax.
Whoa.
Exhale, belly button to spine, Kegel. Okay, we got that breathing pattern down? Cool. This is the foundation. You'd be surprised how many people can't even pull belly button into spine. What you want to also look for on people is if they're substituting. So what that looks like is if they're dropping the ribs and trying to get the belly button to engage that way. Okay? So now what I want you to do, go back to knees at 90 position, 90-90. Okay? Now, you're going to lower the legs to the floor, but you're going to breathe and you're going to do it in this pattern. So I want you to inhale, everything relaxes. Exhale, Kegel, TVA as you lower the legs. Blow out, blow out, blow out. You inhale and you're only going to that point where you can keep the low back against the floor. Make sense?
So if I was only able to do one leg at a time last time, is that
Then
what
you
I'm
just do
doing
one
now?
leg at a time.
Okay.
Exactly. So find that point of weakness for yourself. That now becomes your treatment. You're inhaling, everything relaxes. You exhale, TVA, Kegel, blow out, lower the legs as far as you comfortably can. Inhale on the way up, fully relaxing everything. Remember, on the inhale, we relax. It's on the exhale that we contract. Okay? So again, we inhale, everything relaxes. We exhale, TVA, Kegel, lower legs. Inhale, bring the legs back to the start position. And repeat.
That's so much to remember.
Okay? So, was it a little bit of work to think about this coordination? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, right? So and again, this breathing pattern, this is the foundation for every movement. If we can start teaching all of our clients this breathing pattern, sending them home with homework of just literally like inhale, relax, exhale, Kegel, TVA, right? We're working on that nervous system component, and then putting that into movement becomes the easy part.
Okay.
Are you guys following?
Makes sense. Yes. Makes
You're
sense.
following me? Okay. Good. Okay. So, again, just to reiterate, so when you have somebody draw in their TVA, you want the whole belly essentially going in, right? If I have somebody, whether I'm doing it in standing, lying down, or whatever, if I'm noticing that they're trying to like kind of crunch and get it in, you know, or just making other weird body movements or holding their breath, it tells you that the brain is not communicating to the abdominals correctly, okay? And of course, like in therapy, I dive into this even deeper with working on contracting just lower TVA, middle TVA, upper TVA. Because essentially it all has to be working together, okay? So yeah, looking for abnormal movement as well. So modifications.
I'm going to do another new video here.